Hello everyone, Matsimus here with you today. I really do appreciate you stopping by and joining me for this video. Once again, I do apologise, I'm still recovering from a throat infection, so I'm going to try my best to get through this video for you. So today we are talking about more artillery pieces, and in particular, self-propelled artillery. Now this vehicle is very impressive, guys. As you've probably already been aware if you've been following my channel, I have done a video on the AS-90 from the UK, one of my favourite self-propelled artillery pieces in the world. And this pretty much trumps it a little bit. I've been doing some research on it. I didn't know much about it until really kind of looking into it. And the most I knew about this vehicle prior to talking about it was it charging down the range roads in Germany whenever we were doing training there. And it was really, really impressive to see them flying past. Now these things are huge. And they have some impressive fire rates on them. But as always, we're going to go over an overview of the vehicle first. And then we're going to talk about some of its specific features. And then I'll put my own opinions on this vehicle in general. So, the PzH 2000 is a modern self-propelled howitzer of German origin. The PzH 2000 was developed at the request of the German military following the cancellation of the SP-70 project. PzH 2000 stands for, and I apologise for brutalising the beautiful German language, Panzerhaubitze 2000, or Self-Propelled Gun 2000 in English, which is a lot easier for me to say. Two consortia set out to develop prototypes in 1986. The first consortium was headed by Krauss-Maffei and the second by Wegmann. In 1990, the contract was awarded to Wegmann, and testing and improvement lasted until 1996. When the vehicle was developed in 1986, Italy, the United Kingdom and Germany agreed to terminate the trilateral cooperation of the PzH 155-1 SP-70 program, and the German industry was asked to submit bid for proposals for the PzH 155mm front-driven vehicle. Wegmann received a contract in March 1996 for production of 185 units out of an eventual 594, with deliveries between 1998 and 2002 for use in the Crisis Reaction Forces, or KRK, as well as for first deployment in main forces. Wegmann anticipated that there is an international market as aging US development of M109s, towed howitzers, and former Eastern Bloc equipments required replacements. NATO standardization requires, as well as the Joint Ballistic Memorandum of Understanding endorsed by France, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom and the United States are met, which ensures the interoperability of the PzH 2000 and interchangeability of ammunition. As always, guys, as we're seeing in most vehicles for NATO now, we're trying our best to make sure that everything is compatible with other vehicles. The PzH 2000 self-propelled howitzer has been designed and supplied to the German army by the Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann Corporation, with the Iveco and Otto Malera have also signed an industrial agreement following the Memorandum of Understanding between the German and Italian governments signed in the year 2000. By adopting this vehicle, the Italian army is now equipped with a modern system that replaces their obsolete M109, offering great benefits in terms of modern technology and performance. The contract supplied to the Italian army of the PzH 2000 vehicles was signed in December 2002 between Iveco Fiat Otto Malera Consortium and the General Directorate of Land Weapon Systems, and is one of the modernization phases of the Italian armoured units as of right now. The PzH 2000 is most commonly known as one of the best in the world for self-propelled guns. Its maximum firing range is up to 36 km, together with its variety of ammunition and high rate of fire, ensure effective support for the German manoeuvring forces. It does have modular armour, high mobility, and nuclear, biological and chemical ventilation systems to protect the crew and enhance overall survivability of the system. The vehicle can engage soft and semi-soft area targets with its current ammunition. With procurement of the 155mm Smart artillery weapon system, it is then available to use the Seekerhead ammunition, and for the first time the howitzer will be able to attack semi-hard and hard individual targets precisely while minimizing collateral damage. The German PzH 2000 is Germany's main generation 155mm self-propelled howitzer and is among one of the most capable howitzers in the world. The required range of 30 km with standard NATO ammunition or almost 40 km with assisted ammunition is achieved by the newly developed 52 cal 155mm armament, and is also by the new modular charge system, otherwise known as MTLS. There is continued use of the in-service bag charges also possible. The 155mm armament is automatically laid at high speed and precision. Its position is checked after every round and, if necessary, it is relayed back automatically to the targeting systems. The automatic shell loading system includes different semi-automatic and manual backup modes and an automatic primer magazine. It also has an automatic inductive fuse setting. The layout of the PzH 2000 is pretty conventional. The engine is mounted at the front with the turret and ammunition in the rear. The driver is seated in the hull on the right hand side of the engine, and the rest of the crew is seated in the fighting compartment of the turret. The chassis is based on many proven components of the Leopard 1 main battle tank. As mentioned before, normal unassisted ammunition may be fired up to around 30 km. Base bleed rounds can be fired well over 40 km depending on the type and weather conditions. During tests, a range of 56 have been achieved with South African Assegai rocket-assisted rounds. The fully automated loading of charges and rounds results in a very, very high rate of fire, guys. With the standard 24-volt loading system, 3 rounds can be fired in 9 seconds. That is damn fast, with a sustained rate of fire being 10 rounds per minute. The improved 48-volt loader has an even better performance. The advanced fire control systems in conjunction with the muzzle radar give this vehicle a very high level of accuracy. The vehicle also does have a 7.62mm MG3 machine gun mounted on the turret for self-defense and air defense. For a self-propelled howitzer, the PzH 2000 does have quite a high level of armor protection. While it's an all-round welded and relatively thick steel hull, the level of protection versus top attack munitions is very high as well, especially when it is fitted with additional roof armor. The PzH 2000 is operated from a under armor protection system and can be additionally added with modular protection on the sides. An NBC system is pretty standard, along with fire suppression and smoke grenade discharges fitted at standard. The survivability is further increased with its shoot and scoot ability. As we already know, self-propelled guns are able to fire their rounds very quickly and get out of the dangerous area, which could be counter battery fire. The PzH 2000 can start a fire mission while on the move, with the first round fired only seconds after coming to a halt. This is pretty similar to the AS-90, guys, and it's impressive to see that the fire rate is actually a little faster. The high dash speed allows the PzH 2000 to quickly leave after firing, which, as mentioned before, is going to allow it to get away from any dangers that could potentially come by on the vehicle. The mobility of the PzH 2000 is quite good for such a heavy vehicle. The track chassis provides a very good cross-country performance, and an MTU 1000 horsepower diesel engine provides propulsion, while the APU provides power when the engine is not running. Which, as I mentioned before, guys, is very nice to have when we're trying to do silent watch and trying to keep that audio camouflage down. Even though the power to weight ratio isn't very high, especially when fully loaded and fitted with additional roof armor, the dash speed remains pretty high, which again is allowing it to get that shoot and scoot maneuver working very nicely. The PzH 2000 is used by various European nations, with the main user obviously being Germany. Even with the increased demand for lightweight wheeled self-propelled howitzers, the PzH 2000 sold well, and it is allowing for a large number of Cold War era self-propelled howitzers to be replaced. So, a few statistics for you then. There's a crew of 5, the commander, driver, gunner, and 2 loaders. Its overall length is 7.3 meters long, it is 3.5 meters wide. Its weight, completely combat loaded, is 55.3 tons, which I thought was going to be a lot heavier, to be honest. As mentioned before, it is powered by an MTU 881 diesel 1000 horsepower engine. The vehicle is able to travel up to 60 km now on road and roughly 40 to 43 km off-road. It has a range of 420 km and is able to climb a gradient of 50% up and 25% slope down. The total German army requirement was reduced from around 450 units to 260. The PzH 2000 has also been selected by the Italian, Dutch and Greek armies. The Greek army has 24 systems delivered between July 2003 and June 2004. The Dutch army signed a contract for procurement of 57 units, later reduced to 39 units, and deliveries are still underway. The surplus 18 units, not yet built, were offered to the Australian army but were sadly declined. In September 2006, the PzH 2000 completed its first live-fire combat mission with the Dutch army in Afghanistan as part of Operation Medusa. In operations against the Taliban, 3 PzH 2000s provided support at a range of more than 30 kilometers. So there you have it, guys, the beautiful PzH 2000, and what a mighty beast it is. As I mentioned before, I really didn't know much about this vehicle other than seeing it charging around the German training areas back in the day when I was in the British Army, and it was just a really impressive vehicle to see. Things that really stand out in this vehicle, as you're probably already aware, is its firing rate. 12 rounds in 59.74 seconds and 20 rounds in 1 minute 47 seconds during test firing. That's just test firing. If you actually got a crew who was highly proficient being able to get the vehicle operational and getting that automated system loaded nice and happily, it could be even faster. Another key attribute I think this vehicle brings to the table is obviously that automatic loading system. It looks very proficient, it seems to be working very well, and doesn't seem like there's too many mechanical issues that could happen. Now I know a lot of you are going to be saying, Matsimus, you're going back on what you said about automated loading systems. No, that's not the case, guys. When it comes to artillery pieces, I'm more than happy to see autoloaders being placed into them. And that's not saying that I don't want autoloaders in main battle tanks, let's not go there. But in this particular application, it works fantastically with the shoot and scoot maneuver, being able to park your vehicle up at a stationary position and fire rounds quickly and automated via like that. It just makes a lot of sense. We're also talking about a heavy amount of firepower going down. When you come to a main battle tank and engaging targets, we're not going to be putting 50 rounds onto targets, guys. We're fighting 50 tanks. Something is very, very wrong. When it comes to artillery, they may need to put 50 rounds down range, and having an auto-loading system like this is going to prevent that tiring of the crew and such. I was a little surprised at its power plant being a little underrated for power, considering it does weigh around 56 tons. A 1000 horsepower MTU engine seems a little underpowered considering. It would be nice to see maybe a little bit more beefy of an engine going in there, 1500, 1800 horsepower engine, but it seems to do the job quite happily, and it seems like the crews of the German military and other militaries around the world don't have much problem with it. The 3 fuel tanks that it provides is able to give it pretty much a 420 kilometer cruise range, which again is huge to be able to provide a massive artillery blanket to the battlefield, and it's going to be able to give, you know, the commander's intent really good ability there, because they can place them all over the place. They don't have to concern themselves about having a limited range. And in speaking of range, I mean, guys, that is some serious firepower, being able to punch rounds out that far. I mean, they have different ammunition supplies now that are able to get it to 30 to 40 kilometers with assisted projectiles. That is a long way, and it's pretty standard now for, you know, traditional artillery pieces to be able to fire that range. If not, you're really not able to reach out to the enemy as much as, you know, you want to. Overall, guys, I think this vehicle is very impressive. Like I said, key things that really stand out for me is its fire rate, its being an auto-loading system, and it is able to travel pretty fast with the power plant that's been given. It would be nice though in the future if it was able to be given a little bit more of a power plant upgrade, just to give it that little bit more juice and horsepower to get it around where it needs to go. And it would also be nice to kind of see how it relates to the whole Crusader / Paladin US artillery systems. I know they actually have their own artillery vehicles that follow around with them, with their own kind of ammunition supply vehicle with 3-man crews. I wonder if in the future they're potentially going to do something like that. It'd be interesting to see. Instead of just having guys running back from trucks in the background, you know, trying to get into the back to reload that auto-loading system. That'd be interesting to see. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you stopping by and watching today. Please leave a like and a comment. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. And look forward to some more artillery piece reviews in the future. All the best, have a great day, and bye-bye.